Hey guys, Captain Greg Duvall here, and I want to talk to you a little bit about jig heads and kind of what I look for in a jig head and what makes some better than others. The main thing I mean, there's really only two ingredients in a jig head, and that's the lead and the hook. So obviously the hook is the most important thing. For what I do, obviously the bigger the hook you can get, the better, because if you look at these two hooks right now, this is a 4/0 and this is a 3/0. Now they're both Bass Assassins. They're both 1/4 ounce jig heads, but the main difference is the shape and the size of the hook. So if I'm just out fun fishing or whatever, I'm gonna throw whatever jig head I put my hands on when I reach in there. But if I'm really trying to target specific things, if I'm tournament fishing or something like that, I want a jig head with a big bite, which means a big gap in the hook, because that's going to help you stay hooked up better, and a strong hook. Now, like I said, these Bass Assassins they use a big mustad hook on them, and they've always been strong. I've never had issues with them bending, even when I'm out in Louisiana catching those big bull redfish. I mean, we put a ton of torque on them out there. The other factor is going to be the shape of the jig head and the amount of lead that you have on it. Like I said, in the wintertime, I very rarely use a 1/4 ounce. I usually use an 1/8 ounce unless I'm fishing some deeper water, need to make longer casts. I'll use a 1/4 ounce. Typically, if I'm fishing around grass, like I do when we're fishing these potholes, I'll use this style here. This is I call it a slider head. It's a pro style head from Bass Assassin, and all it does, it's got a little bit of a pointed snout to it, and it just comes through that grass just a little bit better than their original style, which is this one right here. This one just seems to stay cleaner in the grass. If I'm fishing deeper water, if we're using them under popping corks, I'll use this one. This one's a little more of a heavy duty jig head. It's got a little bit, like I said, this one's got a 4/0 hook as opposed to a 3/0. And the difference is just it holds it stronger. It's a little bit better at when you really need to muscle fish. I always say use what you're comfortable with, use what you've got confidence in. Obviously these jig heads, Bass Assassin, I think, makes the best jig heads on the market, so I have a lot of confidence in them, and I use them predominantly 100% of the time. If you do use any other jig heads, just make sure they got a good strong hook, because you just never know when the fish of a lifetime is going to be on there.